Hi everybody, this is Christina at Scrapcraft and Stitchery, and I had purchased, I'm going to show you how to do a paper fold today. This is November Puddles. She's our newest cat. She's a sweetheart. So she has assumed the position in front of the window, and I don't think she'll be too much trouble. We're going to leave her here. But I found this little book that I had bought a couple of years ago at an art school function, and I figured out how to make it, and I made another one. I don't know where the one is that I had purchased, but I made this, and I want to show it to you because it's really super easy to make. And this is what this book looks like. So it's this one paper fold that was helping. And so each one of these opens up. So you can decorate these and use it as a little tiny book, or you can make it whatever size you want. I do have a bigger one over here. I made a couple of these last night, but it just opens up every time you open this. It unfolds the paper, and I have a couple of ideas of ways to use this. But if you open up the whole thing, and I've put 6 of these pieces of paper, and I think they're like 2.5 inches by 2.5 inches that I folded. But the reason I have this closure here is if I slide this down and open it all the way up, it makes this really cool paper star. And so there's that. And that's really cool. I mean, this would make a cool Christmas ornament. You could hang that on your tree. I've made a whole bunch of these, and these aren't difficult. This is so easy to make. But I think that there's a couple of potentials for using this same fold in your junk journal in fun ways. So I am going to show you how to do the fold. And look at that, it's just adorable. And here I've made another one, and I haven't put the cover on it or the closure, but you could just take this and glue that together and do that. And super cute, super actually easy to make, but it looks pretty genius. So I'm going to show you how to do this. And then, I mean, like I said, you could do, this is when I made, this is the first one I made, and it's big. And so, and I only did 5 sheets on this one, so it's not as big. But I mean, if you open this up, and then here you'd have like this huge, like, piece of extra space in your journal. So let me show you. So I have this piece of paper, and the reason I'm using this is because it's kind of a nice weight. It's a little bit heavy, but it is also not too heavy for folding. And I like this. I picked it because it has 2 sides, so you'll be able to see as I'm showing you which side we're working on, because I think that's going to help me show you a little bit easier how I'm making these folds when I say and then turn it over. It helps me to, I'm just going to cut these at 3 inches because I think that the smaller ones are maybe a little bit better. Maybe, you know what, I'm going to do a bigger one for this to show you what I'm doing. So maybe I'm going to cut this again at 3 inches, and that should give me a 6-inch piece. Let me see if I can find another piece of paper. So this was a 12 by 12. So now I'm gonna have 2 sheets. I'm gonna show you on this bigger 6 by 6. I just decided that. Okay. So I have these 6 by 6, and then I have these, which I'll just go ahead and trim these down so they're 3 by 3. But basically you get the idea. You want to have a square piece. So, you know, whatever size this side is, you want it also to be this side. So you have a square. So I'm going to cut these down. If you do it in 3 by 3s, you also can make a whole bunch more of these. It's kind of cool. So obviously I'll have a whole bunch of these because I have 2 strips here that I'm cutting at the same time. They're not quite the same, but I think it's okay if they're just slightly off. So I'll have 8 of these, and if you want to do the star, I think you need 6 is the best. It doesn't really work as well with 5. Very cool little fun project. I did this last night while I was sitting in front of the TV and figured out the best way to fold this. Oh! Haha! I'm blaming the cat. That was, I set my paper trimmer down and it slid and scared me. Okay. So is what you're going to do is first I make this fold and I'm going to fold it this way. So I get a big triangle. Okay. Like that. Great. Doesn't quite, I think it's like I'm folding across the grain now. Okay, so now I'm going to turn this over. Yes, so now I'm going to turn it over to the other side. So you can see I don't have the green side, I have the striped side. And whereas before I was folding onto the green side, and it doesn't matter unless you care. For the stars that I made, I folded the papers that were kind of the same, and I folded them 3 of them one way, and I folded 3 of them the other way. And Kat, you are going to have to go downstairs if you're going to play over there. She likes to play, and my partner has a whole bunch of Legos out over there, and she will tear them all apart because she just loves to play. She is our newest cat. She is also like a big troublemaker, so I need to make sure that she's not getting into trouble while I'm doing this. Anyway, sorry about that. So, and now you just fold it. So I folded it this way into a rectangle, and I'm going to turn it and I'm going to make a fold the other way. And this is just to kind of train the paper to make squares with a diamond folded inside. Okay, so now we should have this kind of folding in like this. Okay, if we go back to the green side, and we have this crease now that's kind of coming upwards, so we're just gonna like let it come together, and then we're gonna press it down to one square, and this should be really simple and easy. And then there you go. And I'm gonna go ahead and do this other one, and I'm gonna do it the other way, so you can see how to get alternating sections. So here you see I've alternated them, and I've made 3 of each with the plaid on the outside and with the green on the outside, and it looks really cool when you have that alternating inside your star. So, and just so you can see it again, this time I'm going to make the diagonal fold, and this time the stripes are on the outside, and the last time the green was on the outside. So we're doing that diagonal fold, this time with the stripes on the outside. Open it up. Okay, now we're going to turn it over to make this long fold. So now we have a long triangle, and this is just training this square fold like that. And then we have these on there. If you've done origami, this is a pretty basic fold. So, ooh, I have some origami paper. Now that I've said that, that would be cool with this too. Okay, so there you have that. Great, so now you can see I have the same paper. Here I have the stripes on the inside. Here I have the green on the inside. And then for the book, you just take, or to make a star, you're going to take 6 of these and glue them together like that, alternating green and then stripes. And then when you open it, you're going to be looking at this inside portion of that, and it'll be glued there, and you'll have all of those. You don't quite get the whole effect here, but this paper is better than this paper. This one is just plain copy paper because I was trying it out to see what I would get. It's a little bit floppy when you make the star, so it doesn't stay. This would stay. This is relatively heavy card scrapbooking paper, so it's going to have a lot more heft to it. And this is, I mean, these are starting with 8.5 by 8.5 inch squares as well, so these are bigger squares too. And you can see it's just kind of floppy. It's a little floppy. It also only, like I said, did 5 with this because this was the prototype. But you can do some cool shapes and whatnot with this and play around with this. It's a very fun shape. Very fun kind of a thing to play with the paper. Okay. So there's this. I'm gonna find, I might just do one more sheet of this. I think since I have these out, I was just taking some photographs and I was using these as background, so I have a whole bunch of this. I bought this at Costco a long time ago, and I will never run out of this paper in my life. I'm gonna make one more of these for the project I want to show you. I just got this coordinating piece of paper, so let's cut this down. Again, I'm going to cut this to 6 by 6 because I want to use these sheets with this. And I'm just going to go ahead and say, we will make these all different. But also they have like the green and the blue, and I think they'll look decent together. Do that nice of a job of lining those up exactly at the same place every time. All right. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and do this. You can do a whole bunch of these. You kind of want to be careful when you're doing these. You could also get your bone folder out and to make nice creases. That might help you out a little bit. Super easy. So for this, I want 3, but I'm going to make one more because I have some other ideas for how you could use these. So I'm just going to make one more for fun. So whichever side you fold, so whatever side you fold to the diamond shape is going to be the inside. That's what you're going to have on the inside, and this will be on the outside. So if you want this, say, on the outside, you'll fold it like this, so this will be on the inside. So whatever's on the outside of your diamond will be on the inside of your finished square. All right. And this will be the outside of your square. Okay, simple and easy enough. Now it just wants to take on that shape. Super easy. If you've done origami, like I said, you've probably done this because it's the base of doing, like, I think paper cranes. Super common fold. So I'm going to use these three together, and I'm going to keep this one for a separate project. So I have enough to do 3 of what I want to do here. And again, I mean, if you just fold these or glue these all together, which is what we're going to do, I'm going to basically be making like a half of the star, like a half of the book or the star shape. So if you did 6 of these together, that's how you can make this book. Because then when you open it, they're all glued together. But let me go grab some glue. So I'm just going to now glue these 2 sides together. And you want to kind of make sure you're lining these up really well. Okay? And I'm just going to press that together to make sure I get a good bond on the inside of there. And so it should be just these 2 middle pages, essentially. These 2 middle sheets, this one side should be glued together. Okay. And I'm going to put this one on the other side just because I like the matching. Oh, well, now we have all green on the outside. What were we going to do? Let's keep this one so I don't have one. Okay, we're gonna do this. I didn't plan this that well because I didn't realize that these were both going to be green on one side, even though I picked them so that they would be the same. We are gonna glue without gluing the cat to this project. Maybe. You might get glued in. You might become a permanent part of our paper project here today. You're being so good. She is being so good. I hope you guys see her being very good. She is just the sweetest, most adorable cat. And we love her. And she's so naughty sometimes. Okay. So I have lined those up. So now, once I get this sealed, I will show you how it will open. And I have, basically I should have like a half of the star now if I open it like this, right? There it goes. I managed to not glue it all together. So you can see it's like the half of a star. So is what I'm thinking is how I want to use this in my junk journal. Hi everybody, I am back. I went away and forgot to turn the camera back on, so I kind of missed some of the stuff, but I was showing you how to fold and assemble the stars and or these folds into things. And so I'm going to show you, I'm going to continue on, and I have some more of these made up using a little bit different paper. So I've used a blue paper and a graph paper. This is kind of a triangle grid paper, which is fun. So I'm going to show you how I have assembled these together. And what I'm going to do with them. I was kind of a mess on Monday when I was trying to put this video together and it didn't quite get finished. So, because I couldn't find my journal and I couldn't find, yes, a whole bunch of things happened and I forgot how to record. Okay, so I'm going to glue these together, and I'm gluing them together so that the open side is, the open corner is on this side and the closed corner is on this side, so that it will open like a book and they all open in the same way. And I'm just going to do 3 of these together. Because I want to make a pop out in my journal. And so I'm just going to glue 3 of them together on one side so that they're all facing the same way, and this one's the same way. And you do, when you want to do this, you want to be pretty sure that you're lining these up really well or they're going to get wonky. And that is the tricky part of this, is making sure that everything gets lined up together. Cool. So now we have this. And if we keep going, we can open it all the way up into a star, but I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to get some glue on there. So you can see that would be a partial star for that. But if you want to use this in your junk journal, I already have this junk journal that you've seen me work on my channel before. And I was thinking that this page will look cool with these colors. So I'm going to add this as an element on this page because I think it fits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down like this so that when this page opens, you have this extra space opens up. And you can have all this extra space to add images or to do journaling or whatever it is that you want to do. And so I'm going to do that. And the only thing with this is that you want to make sure that you get this in kind of an even spot. Am I making any sense over here? So you want to get this so the point is like right in the center of where you want it. And I might put it right there. Because if it's a little bit off, it's going to not be so great. Okay. So the way I'm going to do this is I am going to try it this way. Just because their pages won't open as well if they're not. And for this, I went back and I didn't use that scrapbooking paper. I went back and I got this copy paper. This is just like copy weight paper. And that is going to make this a lot less bulky than using like a thicker scrapbooking paper, because here you have folded and this is going to be several sheets together, and it's going to be very bulky here when it's closed. But when you open it, it makes this like cool half a star shape on your page, just like that. And it's super easy to do. And then when you close it, it just closes right back up. And then when you open it, you can open it here and you can write on all of this, or you could like put a little picture in each one of these little spaces. You just want to like not interfere with the folds. And I would also, again, if you write on it, maybe do like writing and whatnot, just because it's going to add a lot of bulk to this, which maybe you're fine with, but be aware that it will add a lot of bulk. But you can open all of these back out pretty easily. And that's really cool. And then the other thing that I wanted to use this for is I want to make a So I'm going to choose another one of these, and I think I'm going to use this page. For this, I think is what I'm going to do. I have all these pages. This one got wet. I'm very sad about that. Because I spilled water from when I was painting. I think I will put this here. And so the other thing you can do is you can make a pocket with this, which is kind of cool because again, if we just take one this time, single guy, and I'm going to put this, so this is the corner that's closed and then this is the side that's open, so I'm going to put some glue on here, and I am actually going to only glue on this side and not on the top or the side. So this is where it opens, so I'm going to glue here and here. And you could do these in lots of different sizes, and this is kind of a little bit of a small side. So I'm going to make a corner tuck over here spot so that, ooh, so that will make a corner tuck spot. So if I have something that I want to put in here, which I seem to be fresh out of anything close at hand, to tuck in there, I can find something. Surely, I have these birds, which go with these birds. So if I want to put this in there, I can just tuck that in there. It's a little too big for this page. Anyway, so I can tuck something in there, a note to myself, a piece of paper, whatever I have. Say I have this little book, a tag, I can put that in there, I can put a big sheet in there, and then this will also open and I can put more things in there. Or, I mean, I suppose you could glue some of this down and have like a double tuck spot and put another tuck in there. Like that. Lots of tuck spaces, lots of like little spaces where you can add writing or pictures or decorations, and you can expand like the size of your page. You can put a bunch of these on here. You can put one on all the corners, whatever you want. Just a cute idea. And so I'll show you in this journal where I put in the other ones that I did. So this is the other journal where I've added a tuck spot, and this one is a traditional kind of pamphlet bound journal, and so between the signatures I put this. Those are the other stars that I was showing you how to fold the other day, and so I've like assembled them and put them in here. And again, you can open these up and decorate them. These ones are pretty sturdy. I did like putting it between the signatures because I felt like I had a little bit more space there. And then I did in this one another tuck spot. I don't know where I put it. I don't know where I put the tuck spot. It's in here somewhere. Oh, here, where I've closed it up. You have, this is the corner pocket. It opens up. I've closed it up with a paper clip. And that's like that. Beautiful, simple, easy to do. These folds are really super easy to make once you made like one or two of them. I mean, they basically fold themselves. And just a really cool idea to add to your journal, where you can have like a pop-up star, half a star. Oh, I also wanted to show you the other thing, how you can put these 6 together and make a star like this. And this is really simple and easy, which is also, if it's closed, a little book. And it just has a single bead, little closure, and a thread, so you can hang it up. And it's very cute. So is what you need is you need 6 of these that are already folded, And I like to do alternating ones. I have this one sheet that's a little bit different, and that's fine. So is what you're going to do is the same way that we made the star for the book, is you just glue these together so that they open on the same point. And you can just use, I'm going to use this because I think it'll be just a little neater. Okay, and so you want to line these up. I just kind of rest them in my fingers like that, and then wiggle them around and smush them down once they're together. But you want to make sure that you're kind of getting these lined up as best you can. That looks like I did a really good job on that one. That's the important part. If they get off a little, just a little tiny bit, that kind of makes the whole thing go a little wonky. So try to get them as lined up as you can so they're like right there at the top. And so again, you want to have the side that opens on the same side, and this is the side, and I usually line it up on the side where everything's folded together. Okay. When they are all folded closed, and you just make a stack alternating one and the other. You could make them all the same. You could use a different paper for each one. You could get origami paper that's already cut so you don't have to cut your own squares, or you can just use whatever you have. And everybody, I think, knows the thing where you make the diagonal fold and then you tear off the bottom part. Everybody did that in school, right? So that makes a square. And you could do that too. It would work just fine. So I'm just going to build this stack until I have all 6 of my squares that are all the same size. No business of me trying to put together squares that are like, I have squares everywhere now. I've been doing this for probably half a week. I've been making these, and as you can see, my pile is accumulating. It's very fun to make these, and just kind of a fun, sweet little, nice little project. This is how you can make your own tiny little junk journal to decorate. Okay, so now we have our star. And all we have to do is when we open this up, it's going to open up into a star shape. Are you ready? Are you ready? And then I'll show you how to do a closure on this so that you can make it into a book. Well, I mean, it's clearly already a book, and you can open it up into a star just like that. See? That was easy. Okay, so you could, if you just want to make the star and that's all, you could just glue this together and maybe just put a piece of yarn or string in there and make a closure, and have it just be permanently a star that you can hang in your window or from your light or wherever you want in your room. Or you can make this into a little book, and I will show you how to do that. And so I'm just going to take a piece of this paper, and I'm going to use this to hold this closed. So this will become part of the cover. And I'm going to tear this off. You can make this, you can cover the whole thing if you want to, or leave a border. Like on this one, I left a border. On this one, I covered the whole thing. But basically, you just want to have something here, and I think is probably what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this into a square, and I'm just going to put it in this corner right here. So now I have 2 squares, and I'm going to use this to attach my string. And so if I get a piece of thread of some sort, I could use that. That'd be fun. Is what I want is probably something kind of relatively small. Is what you want is you want this to be big enough so that it can clear the edges of your book. So it needs to come back out this side. And also we're going to put a bead closure on this, so we want to have something that will accommodate our bead closure. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. Okay, I could do it this way and loop this. This is like a really thick kind of a cord that I have. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this, and I don't think I need all of this, so I'm not going to cut off all of it. I'm going to cut it into 2 pieces though that I'm going to use for my book. I don't know if that's long enough. Okay, I also need to have enough room to make a knot now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this right in the center, and so I'm just going to put a dot of glue there, and I'm also going to use this to glue down my closure. So I'm going to put down my ribbon, and then I'm going to take this piece of paper, I'm going to put it over the top of this. I could have used something a little bit flatter. This cord is like really 3-dimensional, so it's not going to go right on there. And that's just going to like kind of tie that down is what I'm looking to do. And like I said, I mean, you can cover this whole cover. I'm just going to cover this one little tiny square. So let's put this here. I don't know if I left this cord long enough, guys. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. And then I'm going to put this over the top of it, same as I did on the other side. And then what I did the other day is I made some paper beads out of this same paper. And all I did was I had a strip like this, and you roll it up, and you need to have just something to hold the middle open. This works well, and you can roll it on there and make your own paper beads. And you can paint these with fingernail polish and make them a little bit more decorative. But there you go. So now you have a little tiny bead. And you put a little bit of glue on the end there. And then you can let that dry. And so these have, the nice thing about these is they generally have a fairly large hole in the middle. So that's why I was going to use this. This is one that I made the other day. So now I'm going to see if I can get this cord that's attached to my book now into here. And the end of this is kind of frayed. That one went through. Okay, now we just have to get this other one through. And you can use whatever kind of a bead you have or you want, but you can make your own beads. It's super easy. That one kind of came apart in the middle. Okay. So now you have a closure, and the only thing left to do really is to tie a knot in these 2 strings and hope that this is long enough. So this will keep the bead from falling off, and it also makes it so you have a loop that you can hang this from. There we go. Okay, and so you can open the book and look at it as a book if you haven't glued the pages shut. Okay, and I did make this. You want to make sure your cord's not too short. My cord is a little short, so I think is what you want is you want to make it so that it's maybe twice as wide as the book is here, and my one little leg is too short. Anyway, so my book isn't opening that well. But you can still convince it to make its star shape. And so then you just take this and you slide it down, and it will hold these two pages together. And if you decorate the inside, it will be very pretty. There you go. Little star. And for making these, I mean, making them smaller is kind of a little bit better. When they get too big, they're a little bit floppy. But when they're smaller, they kind of hold up a little bit. Neat and nice, but isn't that cool? Anyway, you try one, or you can use these in your junk journal, as I said. But I mean, just cool as a little book, cool as a star. Very fun little project. I hope you'll make one. I hope you'll share it with us, and have fun. I'll see you later. Bye.